All right, as I start for problem 5, I want you to go and fill in every single problem, please. I need you to come up with your own two factors that will get you, for example, number 1, product of 6, sum of 5. Product of 36, sum of 15. I'm going to start calling you, so go ahead. Take a couple minutes. Take a couple minutes to fill in everything. Go. These 9 problems should be done in less than 3 minutes, honestly, if you know what you're doing.
That's positive 5. Oh, okay. Never mind.
Okay, time's up.
Oh man.
Okay, how did you actually get all 9 problems done?
Cheater.
Yeah, I'm talking like right on the spot. If you did it before, I wouldn't count that. But listen, guys.
I did it right now.
Listen. The strategy is this: not to come up with your first correct pair right away. Just come up with whatever you have in your mind. Honestly, if for example, number 6, of course, the first thing that comes to mind is 2 times 3, right? And it happens to work. Then I'll just stick with that. Fine. 2 times 3 will give you 6. 2 plus 3 will give you 5, right? That works out pretty well. And then look at number 2. Some of you were like thinking about 12. What? No. Just stick with something that's easy and you know it in your multiplication table, like 6 times 6, right? Even though it doesn't work yet, because you know 6 plus 6 won't add up to 15. But it's a starting point. 6 times 6 is 36. But do you realize that I taught you this technique of breaking it down? Now you have 2 times 3 times 2 times 3. Then you can just do something like this. Hey, interesting. Let's see if I can actually do something like this. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. So 12 times 3 is 36. And 12 and 3. Oh, it works. 12 and 3. There you go.
Do it again.
See that? So start with something you know that will work for sure, at least for the product. And then if it doesn't add up, then you break it down and try to use different combinations. Because that's how it is. Okay. For example, this one should be easy. Negative 10. What times what is negative? Or maybe, like I said, you don't have to focus on negative. Just think of positive. What times what is 10? 5 and 2. Okay, and you know that 5 and 2, I can do something with 5 and 2 to make it 3, right? All you need to go back here is, which one can make it negative?
Negative 5.
Negative 5, so that's easy. Here, what would you think right away for 24?
83.
4, 6 times 4, right? I don't think people would start thinking about 12 times 2. I honestly don't think so. You either think of 3 times 8, but 6 times 4. But most likely you choose 6 times 4 over 3 times 8. But you know 6 times 4 won't work, then the other combination in this case, 8 times 3, right? 8 and 3. Then which one will be negative? The 8. Okay. And next one. This one got people stuck.
No.
Look. You only have 2 combinations. 3 times 5, which guarantee won't work. But then the other one is 15 times 1.
Oh yeah.
15 times 1 is 15. 15 plus 1 is 16. See that? You
First
gotta try all combinations you want to.
8 times 2.
8 times 2?
Nope.
9 times 2, you mean?
Oh, 9 times 2.
18. 9 times 2. So if it's easy and works out right away, you don't have to do anything extra to it. Because, yeah, with 18, you're probably going to think of 6 times 3 or 2 times 9. Those are easy. But you need to know your multiplication pretty well, guys, to do this stuff.
Mo, your multiplication.
Multiplication? Know your multiplication.
You said mo.
Oh, mo, whatever. Okay, moving on.
All times 7.
7 and 4.
Negative 7.
Negative 4, right? Because 7 minus 4 is 3. 7 times negative 4 is negative 28. Number 8. What do you think? See, okay, once again, I'm not asking you to give me the answer yet. Just tell me, what would you think of when you say 56? 7 times 8. You know that 7 times 8 won't work. Because it won't add up to 10, right? But you can do this. Right? You can break down that 8 into 2 times 2 times 2. Then you can certainly try something like this. What if I do this? 14 and 4. 14 and 4. Oh, that works, right? So I write 14 and 4. Now I need to tweak it. Which one should be a negative? The negative 14. Is it?
Yeah.
So just come up with something that works for you for the product first. Doesn't have to work for the sum yet. And then you can just break it down if you have to. And then 48. What times what is 48 in your head?
6 times 8.
6 times 8. See? 6 times 8.
Oh,
So 6 times 8 is 48. Won't add up to 13. So you know it won't work in the current state. But if you break it down, like 2 times 3, and this is 2 times 2 times 2, then I can try different combination. I can certainly try, 12 times 4? But I know that won't work. What about 16 times 3?
that works.
That works. See? 16 times 3, and so this is a negative, so therefore the 16 will get the negative. You see how that works? You break it down and you just try to use different numbers. So don't get stuck trying to find the right pair. You don't have to. Just get one pair down and then break that pair down to help you with the rest. Okay, are there any other questions on this? On the technique on how to do this? Faster, at least. Because you can easily sit here all day thinking of like the right pair. You don't need to get the right pair to start with. All right, moving on to the next one. Here is my next slide for you, and I have this example. Okay. All right, let's start with the very basic. I'm talking like what we learned yesterday. How would you start this thing? Yes.
GCF?
Yes. GCF. Is there one? Very good. I love that. GCF. Is there one?
No. Yes.
No.
X?
One.
No.
Is there anything in common?
One.
No. Except for a 1, right? But who cares? We don't care about that if it's a 1. But no GCF except for a 1, so we do not care. We can start going to the X and then the box process, right? So let's start with the X. With the X, what do I put on top?
28.
Very good. Because it is 28 times 1, right? Even though it's not there, it is 1. What about the bottom?
Negative 11.
Negative 11. Okay, just please do not blink for this problem because I'm going to show you something pretty quick after this. What times what is 28 added to negative 11?
Negative 7, negative 2.
7. Okay, first 7 times 4 will give you positive 28 add up to positive 11. So how do I tweak this to make it negative 11? Both of them negative. Because a negative times a negative is a positive, but a negative add a negative is still a negative. So therefore, this will work out just fine. Huh? 14 times 2? Is 14 and 2 going to add up to 11, negative 11? There's no way you're going to do it. See? So therefore it won't work, right?
Oh, never mind.
Okay, we got the X. Now I can do the conversion process of a 3 into a 4 term. So when I write it, watch what happened. This middle term will go away. In place of that, I'll be using negative 7x and negative 4x plus 28. So you see how it's being replaced? Right there. Any questions so far? All right, once we have this, we start setting up the box. Don't want yet. Okay, so this is x squared minus 7x minus 4x plus 28. And I just say, okay, is there anything I can take outside? Yes. I can take out x here. I can take out -4. Very good. You caught this, right? First negative, I need to take that negative outside. Always. Yes, some of you might say 2. But please, 2 is not the greatest common factor. You want to take out the greatest. So 4 is the 1. And because it's the first negative, we'll take out -4. What about the top? What do we have?
X and -7.
X and -7. So let's check it to make sure. X times x, x squared. 7, -7 times x, there it is. -4 times x, good. And -4 times -7, positive 28. Watch what happens, please. Do not blank. This is very important. So I'm going to write it. X minus 7.
Wait, do it. I blink.
X minus 4. This is my factor. But do you notice that what you see here is also what you see up here?
Oh my god.
That's why.
Is it?
Yeah.
So technically speaking, what does it mean? Do we need to do the box factor at all?
No.
No, not this one. Why is it? Because of that one right there. It's a positive 1. If you have any other number that is not a 1, you have to definitely go through the entire thing to do it. But if you start a problem, in this case, a triangle over here, with a 1 as a coefficient, we can technically skip the entire box process, just start the x, and you have your answer right away. See how it works? Because look, this is -7, that's -4, right there. Okay? And if you have to test it, yeah, sure, you can test it if you want to. I'll give you the right answers anyway. But if you are ever in doubt, like I said, just set it up using the box, using the x, using the box, just to make sure. Okay? But this is a shortcut I want to share with you today. Are there any other questions?
No.
Okay, let's start with the other one. Try this one on your own. Here we go.
Hey, give us like 2 minutes to do it.
1 minute.
Oh, I was like, wait, that's the same thing.
Go.
Ooh.
Yes,
That,
that's right.
dude.
You have c squared minus 7cd plus 10d squared. Let's see what we can actually come up with. And by the way, you realize this is a 1, right? So therefore I can use a shortcut. Although, if you don't want to use the shortcut, do it the long way. You know, like at the minute. For those who got it, it should be a fast process.
Okay.
Alright, so go ahead.
Done.
No one asked.
I think I probably got it wrong though.
It's only if the first term is 1.
Yes. Only if that very first term is 1. Correct.
-5.
Oh,
I can yell more.
Okay, so
I got it.
I'm seeing a lot of the answers, and those are not complete answers. Let me tell you why. First of all, is there a GCF to take out for this one? No. So I know I can just start with the x right away. With the x, I realize that it's a 1 here in the front, so I don't have to really care much about 10 times 1 is just 10, right? So I just write that 10. What about the bottom?
-7.
Okay,
-5, -2.
very good. -5, -2. So because of that now, I can just say I don't need a box because it's a 1 to start with. I can set up like this. Watch what happens because this is c squared, right? I know that the first term here is going to be c. Because c times c is c squared, right? But if you're going to write something like this, oh, that's a -5, and this is a -2, you are missing something. -5 times -2 is 10. What happened to your d then? D squared. How do you get that in there?
You have to put it
D.
inside.
You're missing the D.
Right there. See it? D times d is d squared. And it's kind of telling you too, look, isn't the middle term a combination of c and d? So therefore when you write your factor, it also has to be a combination of c and d. See it? Like the first problem, it's just x only, therefore you just see x. But this is c and d together, so you have to put them together. Yes?
Mr. Like I do those programs, I don't think about the count. I just use -5 and -2 added to 7 and I get the answer.
Oh, no, you have to make sure you get the same product though. Okay? Be careful. But we're good with this so far? And the way to check your work is do a 2x2 box again if you want to, and then see if you get back the answer or not. But hey, we're trying to skip a box for this, only if it's a 1 to start with, okay? Alright, try this one. It's a little bit trickier. Let's see if you can actually get this. Go.
What the heck?
Wow. That's a lot of numbers.
He says go.
So I start with this, and I realize that there's no GCF that I can take out at the moment, so I'm just going to start with the x. So here's the x. This is a -1, right?
Yes.
Some people actually forget that. So when you take 108 times a -1, it is -108 here on top, not 108. Okay? The bottom is -3. I need to come up with a pair that will give me a product of -108 and add up to a -3. So a lot of you came up with that. 12 and 9, but then which one is going to be the -1? Okay, so I have that, and some people said, okay, let's use a shortcut this thing. Not yet, can't, because you don't have a 1, right? So can't use a shortcut, therefore I'm going to have to turn this back into a polynomial 4 term. So that means it's going to look like this. 108 y squared minus 12xy plus 9xy minus 1x squared. So I'm basically replacing that middle term. Okay, so just still do it the old way. And as I work on this, put that in a box, I see this. 108 y squared minus 12xy plus 9xy minus 1x squared. Agree? You should be able to get this far. I'm just still doing it the old way. I'm not doing anything different yet. Here, what can I take out? Yeah, 12y. Not negative, sorry. It's the first positive. And here, what do I take out? Just the x. Right? Okay, and then I try to match it up. 12y times what is 108y squared? 9y. 12y times what is -12xy? Negative x, right? Okay, so let's check this. That works, this works, this works. So then I put the whole thing together, and it's going to be like this. 9y minus x times 12y plus x. And you're saying, yep, that's it. This is the answer. It's correct. Some of you might get different answers because of this. So hold on a minute. Let me just go ahead and try to group this thing together. Okay, and show you the other approach. I'll come back and compare that with you. So first of all, I know it's kind of like backwards, right? You know, you expect to have this in the front and everything else. So let's first rewrite it. If I'm going to rewrite this whole thing, I'm going to flip this back to the front. It's going to be a -1 x squared minus 3xy plus 108y squared, right? And you might consider this as, wait, this is so close to being a +1. Is there any way I can make this a +1? I can actually take out what? A -1, right? Or in other words, you take out that GCF of a -1. So then if I write it like this, I will now make it a positive inside. And this becomes a +3xy, and this is a -108y squared.
But it's the same thing though.
No, but because I write it like this, I can use the shortcut because now this is a +1.
But it's the same.
No, watch this. If I do the x, the top is -108, but the bottom is a +3.
So it's 12.
If you compare it to the last one, it's a -3 from the last one. So you get 12 and -9. Remember the other one? It was -12, 9. Right? Okay, wait, we're not done. So, because I can utilize the shortcut, I can just go ahead and start writing it. X plus 12y, x minus 9y. And of course, there's this negative right here, right? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and box this too, and I'll compare the other one side by side to show what's going on. So watch this. Oh. So here's the other problem.
That's actually how to say it.
Okay, here's one, here's the other. look at the answers that I have here versus here. First of all, you compare the 12y plus x. I do have 12y plus x, but it just a different order. But that's fine, right? That's fine. 5 plus 4 is the same thing as 4 plus 5. So commutative is fine. But look at this right here. I have positive x, negative 9y. Down here I have negative x, positive 9y. You see how it's kind of reversed? Opposite sign? But look at that, there's a negative outside of this. You take that negative and distribute it back into the x and distribute to the negative 9y. Don't you still get back the same exact answers?
Yes.
So technically, they are the same answer, just written differently. Okay? But what I'm trying to show you is sometimes it's not written in the desired format. You still take out that negative, whatever, to make it into the desired format. If you don't want to do it and still want to do it the long way to just get it done with, you can. And it still work out just fine. Okay? And this is something I want to share. Any other questions on this? I'm going to stop that and give you the quiz right now.
Wait,